challenging external beliefs. Now, this is really, really important, and it's something that so many people do not implement. And that is looking at an external so-called figure of authority and taking what they say as gospel. Now, I'm going to give you a very key example here that I remember extremely clearly, just like it was yesterday. This is when I was working as a stockbroker back in London, and we had a morning meeting with one of the directors. He came in, was giving this meeting, and he talked about the difference between hearing and listening. There's a film called Training Day. Brilliant film. Leading actor, a gentleman by the name of Denzel Washington, one of the greatest actors of all time. Now, there's a scene in Training Day where he talks about the difference between hearing and listening. And what he says, it's actually a scene where he's in the car with the trainee. I think the actor's name is Ethan Hawke. He says, "Are you listening or are you hearing me?" Something like this. And he goes on to say that hearing is with your heart. And my director went on to regurgitate this in a morning meeting. I remember sitting there and thinking, do I accept this? Do I accept what this guy is saying? Do I agree with it? And the answer was no. And I pulled him up there and then. He was talking, just like Denzel was talking, that hearing is when you're actually intuitively digesting, processing the information. But I said, on the contrary, I believe that listening is more important than hearing. And the example I used, we were sat at the building, we were maybe on the 10th floor in the city of London by Liverpool Street, and I could hear the cars going by. I could hear people on the street. I wasn't listening to them, I could hear them, but I wasn't listening. I was listening to my director. So my argument there is that listening is actually what you do correctly, not hearing. Hearing is something that is subconscious. Listening is something that is conscious. Listening is something where you actually tune in. The point I'm trying to make here is that when you hear something like this, an external belief or a regurgitation, you must, if you do not agree, you must try to understand it first and foremost. You must process it, must digest it, and if it makes sense, you accept it. If it does not, you must challenge it.